They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
Oh, I think it's a scratch.
Okay, I was about to say, like, you can't.
Ears are bleeding. Welcome back to Well Read, everybody.
I mean, that means a black woman's talking about you, by the way. I think when they're burning, it's just a regular person's talking about you. But if they're bleeding, it means a black woman is righteously going in on you somewhere.
Reading
That's from the
you
Bible.
for filth. Isn't that a thing they say?
Yeah.
Reading to filth or getting read to filth or read for filth. One of those is that a gay thing or a black thing or both?
I don't
There's
know.
a lot of
I've never heard
overlap
it.
with those two
I don't know if
situations.
it's overlap or gays just taking it.
Yeah, gays really become black women sometimes, and I don't know.
Right. I've seen people try to claim that it's sometimes the inverse. I don't know.
That black women act like gay dudes.
That some of the slang and stuff, it originates with the gays.
The gays, right?
I've only ever seen that myself. It originates from the black gays.
Right, because I was about to say,
I've never seen us get credit for any good slang. I'm not saying I'm mad about that. I've just never seen it.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like with the phrase, like, here's the tea, gun to my head, I couldn't answer whether a gay started that or a black woman started that because it sounds like it could easily be both.
And I would put my money that it was a black man. That's where I would.
Black gay man? Yeah. Black gay man. Right.
Yeah.
Or identify. You understand what I'm saying?
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Someone on the alphabet spectrum who happens to be black.
I mean, we've come up with some pretty good ones. You just ain't supposed to say them. You know what I mean? Like,
there's this guy. There's this comic, Nick. I can't remember his last. I knew him from New York. Acquaintances. He had this joke go viral. Joe Budden was talking about it.
Yeah.
You know that one?
The one where he's talking about y'all actually took our word.
Yeah, he's talking about how we always get accused of stealing your culture, and that's true. But you guys also take our best stuff. The N-word, that one was ours.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
And Joe Budden went, God damn.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Boys, hey, I know we always plug at the end, but I just got to tell you how pumped I am for this weekend. I just got my place to stay in Nashville, so it's officially real. And this weekend, come see us starting. If you're listening to this as it comes out on Wednesday, we'll be at Zany's tomorrow through Saturday. That is December the 18th through the 20th, correct?
Yep.
Come see us.
Yep.
Tomorrow night show is sold out.
Still have tickets available, I think, right? The late show on
like
Friday and Saturday.
Like
late
3
show
tickets.
Friday and Thursday has tickets.
I think Thursday sold out, didn't it? I think
Thursday sold out.
I'm pretty sure
sold out.
I think
both early shows are sold out.
I think they opened up some tickets, boys. I think that they were all showing sold out but one, and now only one showing sold out. I think it's because they finalized our guest list, and I think they released like 6 tickets per show.
I was about to say, for the first year ever, I didn't turn in a single comp. So
I had less too. It wouldn't surprise me if they hold more for us than they do for most comics because of years past. And then this year we didn't use that many. So yeah, that might have freed up, 15 or so tickets for each of the shows. So either way,
get on it, bitches.
Act now.
Yeah.
Get them while they're hot.
I'm pumped. I'm very pumped to answer your question. I'm super pumped.
I'm super pumped.
Did you ever talk to you about the Silurian hypothesis?
Does this have to do with aliens?
No. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
I would say probably.
So, lizard people, right? But not the ones you're thinking of. Not the
Jews.
Not the Jewish anti-Semitic lizard.
I wasn't thinking of that until you said it. But then now,
yeah. Well, again, as we've talked about on here before, most of my life until like 5 years ago, I never associated that with Jewish stuff at all until I found out. It's like, no, that originated as an anti-Jew thing, but it's like if everything does, especially in the world of conspiracy theories, turns out. I just used to use that for rich people, and then my rich people slur got taken away, but what are you going to do? Anyway, ancient lizard people that basically the idea that if there was, it's not even saying that there was, but pointing out that if there was an advanced civilization of presumably lizard people in between, the dinosaurs and us somewhere along the way, millions of years ago, that we wouldn't know, and we'd have almost zero way of knowing now today.
Wait, why wouldn't we know?
Because over those
They'd be good at leave it at covering up their tracks.
Well, now why would they do that?
I don't know. Lizards.
Okay.
Why would they do anything?
Right. Well, these are smart lizards.
Yeah, well, you don't know. I'm saying they're so advanced. You
They're also an
We're in
advanced
the lizard weeds.
I'm just saying,
Which
if
is
an
better than
ant,
being in the lizard weeds.
a bird culture that they have to hide from also, and there's a lizard people, bird people.
I'm just saying, if
happening,
ants,
so they
if
live in
ants
hiding.
observed us, there'd be a lot of shit that we do that is so commonplace for us, but ants would be like, why the fuck do they do that? So we can't comprehend why they would do the things that they do, because to them, we're the ants.
Right.
Ants don't understand. If an ant saw me wiping my ass, he'd be like, why the fuck is it? Because you don't wipe your ass.
Yeah,
you know what
if
I
I
mean?
saw a lizard person wiping their ass, I'd be like, oh, to get the shit off.
Yeah. Right. Because over those great expanses of time on that like geologic scale, everything gets basically ground to dust and covered up if you're talking about millions of years. So
what about fossils?
Right, exactly. So this is what people ask a lot of questions. They're like, well, we know dinosaurs didn't even have an advanced civilization, and we know that they lived.
It's the great Joe Zimmerman joke.
It's like, yeah, they've never found a bear's bones. It's like, yeah, but they have found bears. So
right.
Well, also the way he phrased it is, well, I have no idea if that's true, but you know what we have found? Bears.
Yeah, because his buddy Dave is a Bigfoot enthusiast, and he was like,
every Dave is every day,
right? Yeah, but he's like,
every fucking day.
People are like, how come we never find
my life?
How come we've never found Sasquatch remains? And one of their arguments is, we've never found bear remains. And then Joe's like, yeah, but we have found bears. So, so fossils, right? The dinosaur, this whole planet was just lousy with fucking dinosaurs, right?
I see. I think I know what
for millions of years.
Right.
And
then
we have what? 700 fossils. I don't know how many fucking fossils we have.
They add dinosaurs. I mean, like T-Rex became a cultural phenomenon, and then like we found out there was bigger versions, but it was too late to make. Like, I kind of feel bad. I don't even know what they're called. I don't know their names.
Megalodon.
Doing it harder than T-Rex. Underground dinosaurs. People don't even know about. Not mainstream.
It is a short cord.
And it's like, to your point.
Stegosaurus, that's what I was thinking of.
Stegosaurus.
The Stegosaurus is bigger than T-Rex. I'm talking about a T-Rex like.
That's bigger.
The jaws and all that.
Yeah, is it Gigantosaurus or something? Sometimes they have very sort of on the nose names, and other times it's
okay. So I'm rocking with that.
But fossil, a very perfect set of circumstances has to happen for a fossil. It's not just a dinosaur died and then we found it later. It has to perfectly occur in order to be fossilized. So
it's 1 in a million, but dinosaurs were here for so
long, and there were so many of them that we still have plenty, even though it's a 1 in a million
this
shot.
Alleged group was like smaller,
short-lived, just like we have not been here that long, right? Like compared to dinosaurs, right? So
not even
if they were like us and also advanced,
what's the old thing they said? Like if the entirety of humanity was crunched into a 24-hour window frame, humans wouldn't show up until 11:59 and 59 seconds till midnight.
Which that's accurate because we're going to blow the planet up, and that will be
the midnight doomsday clock.
We've just been there.
Right? And I mean this so sincerely, but it is going to sound funny because of who I am. But why should I give a shit?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
why do they give a shit?
You don't think you don't have fun thinking about stuff?
Sure. But what I want to know in the conspiracy world, do they draw any and if we did know about their ways, we would understand. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Is it anything other than this is cool for them? Because most conspiracy theories end up with
And this is
that's
why
we have cancer. You know what I mean? We
Right,
could just
right.
fix it. Like, is there any attachment? You know what I mean? Like, they built a spaceship. We got to go find it. Or Atlantis is real, or anything like that.
No, I think it's from a paper by an astrophysicist, two astrophysicists in 2018, where they just was like, "Hey, what y'all think about this? Wouldn't this be wild?"
It would be.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. Because they just pointed out, like, since fossilization is very rare, and there have been dinosaurs is so goddamn old, and all that old shit is so old that there has been. Because here's an argument people make: oil, right? Fuel and stuff like that. There's been enough of that fossil carbon to fuel like an advanced civilization, like an industrial civilization, for 350 million years already. So they could have had like sources of fuel, but other people say it's like, right, but we're draining those resources, and like they weren't already somewhat drained. Do you know what I mean? At least not the ones that we found. There might be other ones, like other deposits and shit that we haven't tapped. Maybe we find and you tap one. Like, there used to be oil here, but seems to be gone. Like, that would be wild, but that has not happened yet. Other people say like mining for resources, like mountains be old as fuck, obviously.
So old.
And that we've also never found like ancient mine shafts or anything like that that were there already, or that type of thing. Things that would survive, because all of New York City, all of Manhattan and everything, I don't know how long it would take, but
it'd be gone.
I mean, just tens of thousands of years, let alone millions. Like, maybe not even that long. Maybe just 3,000-4,000 years. I don't know.
Dude, you ever have like
gone?
You go into a house where an old lady died like 10 years ago, and no one's been in there for a minute, and that motherfucker's already starting to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, she'll be almost completely gone.
Yeah.
Right. So there was also this thing that we found that when they found it, people started being like, "That's it. That's the Silurians or whatever." And it's called
so close to just slur.
I know. I was thinking about that.
It's the Paleocene Eocene Thermal Maximum. That's what it's called, the PETM.
Okay.
A geologically brief time interval characterized by an average global temperature shift of between 9 and 14 degrees, and a sudden massive output of carbon into the ocean and atmosphere.
So they blew up a bomb.
So, 55 million years ago, out of nowhere, the temperature rises and all this carbon gets put into the atmosphere. And so,
I thought the leading theory on that was super volcano erupted.
Right.
And then
it probably was that. It probably was not lizard people building spaceships.
Some sort of not man-made, but being-made catastrophe, like us doing nukes.
Just pointing at it and being like, hey, what if? We don't know. Could have been that.
Right there.
Yeah. Did y'all know that scientifically the Yellowstone is like long overdue for all them geysers and volcanoes underground long overdue to explode? And if it does, and this is what I heard, if it do, like the people from the Midwest that don't get covered in lava will be engulfed in smoke. Could be wrong.
Bro, the Midwest, everybody's dead. If that thing blows, it's over. I mean, and I don't just mean America. Like, I mean, the Chinese, resourceful folk that they are, they might they'll
be in the air.
They could maybe survive like a nuclear winter, because that's what would happen. But America gone. This whole hemisphere gone if that motherfucker blows up.
Is that a tunnel joke, or just because they're on the other side of the world?
Yeah. They can fly.
Why would they be in the air?
They can fly. They can run up bamboo.
There's a documentary, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah. I was talking to you, Trey. Why would they survive?
Because
they probably wouldn't. I'm just saying maybe because they'd have to go into bunkers and shit like that at least for a little while, because
they can fit into them better.
That's a wild statement in 2026. That's all I'm saying, dude.
What?
I'm just fucking with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Why? Well, anybody? They're just on the opposite side of the planet. Is why.
Well, I said that. I said, is that
I don't
because they're on the
understand.
opposite side of this planet, or because they're tunnel people? And you said resourceful, so I was like, well.
That's tunnel people.
Well, they
They're
are
not wrong being
resourceful.
tunnel people. They are.
fucking-
And you can fit more of them into a bunker than you can fat Americans. You know what I mean?
It's so tempting to anyway. Do an accent. Do you think
dude.
so? I've read some of
Y'all
those.
do it in private just to get it out of your system before you have to go talk to people.
It's not a big thing for me because I'm not great at them. So it
Right,
only
I'm
comes
pretty
up in a
good.
situation like this where I think the line would hit. Like the line is what I want to get off more than anything, but you got to do the accent with the line.
You
But
have to.
other than that, like no, it's not a big thing for me.
So
Yeah.
that's just what I thought. I think people like to say that just because it's like sounds wild as hell, but
It's not real,
especially
right?
geologic. Well, it is. It's a real thing. The Yellowstone super volcano and all that is a real thing, but especially geologically speaking, it's not at all overdue. It apparently
That's good to
the
know.
average interval between eruptions is, we think, 725,000 years, and the most recent eruption was around 100,000 years ago. So that's
how long before it goes from being overdue to, I guess this one was a dud. You know what I mean?
I'll be dead.
I don't
So-
know. I don't know how they decide that.
About both those things, and it's something I kind of been want to talk about anyway. We've touched on it. What Corey read about, I've read about it before too, was posited by scientists and is within the realm of possibility, right?
Yeah,
and then,
it could, yeah.
and then like, you know, the science community is like, yeah, well, I mean, it could, but it's actually
Sure.
not going to be overdue until 725 and blah, blah, blah. And then the thing you were talking about was posited by astrophysicists. Is that what you said?
The earlier thing, yeah. Yes.
How much of that is what I call the WWE-ification of corporate or whatever? Like, okay, here's a perfect example in our world. I think that for what he does, Andrew Schultz is talented.
Yeah,
He's
he's
one
very
of the
talented.
biggest comedians of our generation,
Yeah,
and no one talks about his stand-up comedy.
right.
Mhm.
And he knows this. Like he talks about it. I think the smartest thing he ever did was that Netflix thing, that series of Netflix things he did during the pandemic. And one of the things he talked about, he had this comparison of Trump and Tekashi 6ix9ine, who were in the media at the same time as each other. And he said they understand that in the modern West, clout is currency.
For sure.
And that sounded like something Eric Bischoff would have said if he was still paying attention to like it was such
He did say that. Controversy equals cash.
Controversy
It's
equals cash.
Eric
So I'm
Bischoff
like-
quote. Yeah.
I'm wondering if like these scientists, these astrophysicists, like work at, I don't want to disparage any university, but they're not at Harvard, right? They're not getting big grants. They're trying to make a splash. Academia is overrun and overwrought with too many people. I mean, my
So they
buddy
gotta make
Ben
a name
teaches
for
at
themselves.
Harvard. One of my best friends teaches at Harvard and has been wanting to move back to the South and can't find a job that suits him where they'll hire him because like there's other people who taught it. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's competing with people with the same. So my point being like, how much of that is just like, sure, it's within the realm of possibility, but all that's happening here is two guys who can't get anything published, anything decent.
Yeah. This is a wild thing to say.
In an attention economy.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
that makes sense.
it don't not make sense, but dude, scientists have been on some wild shit for a long fucking time.
That's
Lest we
true.
forget the lady who jacked off the dolphin until it killed itself.
Hey.
That was in like the 70s.
I thought we were clapping for her, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
I
But
hear
yeah.
you, but that was the CIA telling them to
Right.
do that.
Jacking the dolphins
Yeah.
off? Yeah.
yeah, but scientists
Whatever.
do wild shit too.
I agree, and I'm
like-
not trying to act like that's new. I just feel like the attention economy is infiltrating everything. I brought
Right,
up
like,
comedy
yeah.
first because, like, my point with Schultz being this dude gets attention for everything but stand-up comedy, but he's known as a stand-up comic. I just feel like it definitely happens in politics. I mean, Trump is the perfect example. He wasn't a fucking politician.
And a
I just
WWE
feel like
Hall of
the
Famer.
attention economy it's everywhere, even academia. That's my stance. I don't care if you believe
I mean,
it.
yeah, dude, I follow a paleontologist.
Everything do be that way.
I follow a paleontologist right now who,
Oh, that's a wild sentence. Go ahead, though.
yeah, but you're about to understand exactly why. I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed one day and I see this.
This particular
I mean,
paleontologist has titties.
yeah, and I mean, goodness, like she's fucking stacked, boy. But
There
like,
it is.
it's not like. But listen to me, she's not like professionally dressed, and I'm just like, oh, look at that. Like she's in a bikini next to a dinosaur.
Right.
Bro, you've got me. You know what I mean? So I get on there, and at first I'm like, okay, well, this is just a really hot woman who's into dinosaurs. No, turns out she was a paleontologist. She worked at this very prestigious whatever, and she kept getting sexually harassed because apparently, you know, as you can imagine, that is a male-dominated field or whatever. And if you're an attractive woman, they just think like, well, she wouldn't have worn that dress if she didn't want me to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
so
now the dinosaur nerds don't know how to act around a woman. Go
right.
on.
So anyways, she was like, well, fuck this. I'm not going back into it. I'm going to use that to my advantage. And I'm going to get on Instagram looking all hot and talking about dinosaurs and shit. And I mean, hey, got me. Cause she also has OnlyFans. I fucking subscribe. It's awesome. Cause you know, I don't know. I mean, she is hot, but I don't know if I'd have done it unless it was that specific niche. Cause like, I do love hearing about dinosaurs and stuff. And it's like, why not listen to the woman with such great tits talk about it? So it's that, but I'm saying it's the attention economy is leaking over into academia. Like she's like, this would be better for my career.
You allowed yourself there to back up my point. I'd have gone to my grave with some of the sentences you said, and not because I think you should be ashamed. You're just going to catch hell for it.
I don't care.
Do you know about? I know you do.
Why am I going to catch hell though?
You don't know about this woman, and if you don't, I'm about to make your week. Do you know about the news anchor who's done nothing?
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, baby. Woo! I follow her.
Nothing to draw it. She just dresses like a news anchor dresses.
Yeah.
But she has started for social media clicks to just read the comments people leave on her regular news reports. Trey, have you seen this woman?
Yeah, the thick girl.
Yeah,
she's thicker than
extremely beautiful.
Hilarious.
Somebody said you thicker than zoo glass.
That's a good one. I never heard that one before.
Yeah,
the one that I saw this morning that was only funny because she read it. Is I didn't know that you could have a fat 9, but here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. No, I love her, dude.
Anyway, yes, that's another perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, this woman is trying to advance her career. How do you do that? Is it by reporting the news very well? No, not enough. It's not enough anymore. Maybe it never was. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, but I just kind of feel like sometimes when I see those things, I'm like, well, this mid-level, no offense, your boy can't sell but 30 tickets in the South, but this mid-level paleontologist or whoever, astrophysicist is like, well, this will get clicks to my page. And then I go to get a job and I say, I had a paper that had 400,000 downloads last year. And they go, holy shit, how did he do that? Our best guys didn't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like
built like brick shit houses. That's why, motherfucker.
It's like what's happened to like, you know, ESPN sports.
Oh yeah.
And obviously politics and just everything.
Dude,
everything's
like Pablo Torre,
everything's turned into wrestling.
Pablo Torre, wrestling.
Journalism outside of sports, regular journalism,
not
that
good.
too. Same thing. Twitter had a whole lot to do with that. You got to be first. It's less important to be right than it is to
for
be
a while. For a while it was Lebitard, and then even Lebitard will admit that like once he went out on his own and started the Lebitard network, it's like, yeah, a lot of the stuff he does is specifically for virality and for clicks. But like right now, at least, the only person who is like a good fucking journalist in the sports world that also is very popular specifically because of how good of an actual sports journalist he is Pablo Torre. And now he's also good in front of the camera. You know what I mean? But like, other than that, it's just people, it's the Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless effect. That's how you have to do it. And Pablo Torre, you know, takes issues with that and has those people on his show and is like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Like, obviously that's fun, but it used to be that was one show that's like, this is what they do. This is their thing. And now it's all the shows, and seeing actual journalism is the crazy fucking thing.
Well, my theory on that is they started getting the data back in real time in terms of what people are into. I mean, it's also why our media has turned more conservative, not just in terms of the news media, but like, dude, Taylor Sheridan.
Right.
Almost all he makes now is libertarian porn.
Right.
And the reason why they're giving him a pile of money is now that they have data on it, they're like, well, turns out this is what people want. It turns out Pat McAfee is one of the most popular sports journalists we've ever had on this network.
Sure.
We thought doing this very like in-depth job was important to people. It's not to most people.
Not to most people, no. Unfortunately, it's not. And
But
with
it
the
sucks that,
Sheridan,
like, they'll just play. It sucks for me that they'll just play to that.
and
it sucks
Sheridan,
with like academia and politics because it's way more important than football.
right? And like with Sheridan, like if you just pitched me most of the shows that he does that I'd watch every now and then, I'd be like, oh, God damn it, this is fucking right-wing bullshit. But then he'll fuck around. Oh, Kevin Costner's in it. Billy Bob Thornton's in it. And now I'm like, God, I fundamentally disagree with the message of the show, but I'm going to fucking watch it. So he's already got half the population that want to hear it for the message. And then people who inherently disagree with the message are still like, yeah, but dude, hearing Billy Bob say stuff hits. You know?
He's
Like,
very good, but I was more trying to explain why he has 9 instead of 2 shows.
yeah.
And I think it's because people want it. They want that. And
They
I
do.
think with McAfee, it's because people want that. Like when Pablo Torre goes, this used to be 1 show. What happened? ESPN found out they could make a lot more money if they did 7 of them.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
and people realized they could keep their jobs if they said wild shit.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. You got people like, I mean, I guess Jason Whitlock's like a perfect example because like before, yes, I brought it up for that reason. Yes.
What's the kind of ugly long-haired guy who does sports? He's very serious.
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright. He's the one that Pablo had on his show, and they were like going back and forth about. And Pablo,
I think I like that guy.
No. Pablo even said he's like, of these people, this guy's the best one because he can back a lot of the shit that he says up or whatever. But that guy was just making the argument of like, essentially like, yeah, like I'll admit that this part of what I do isn't journalism. Fox News won't, you know what I mean? Like this is just commentary and opinion or whatever. But like, I also can be objective about things and write journalistically, but like, no, I love that guy. I think he hit that, but the whole thing ain't bad. Like, dude, I enjoy watching Shannon and Skip and Steve. There's nothing wrong with that type of thing. It sucks that culturally we decided that's all there can be, you know?
Now there are people attempting to do that with comedy.
Yes. And
like
they're turning into battle
stuff.
Rap. I can't stand it. Like
comedy punditry, basically, like talking heads, except they're usually not on camera. Some of them are on camera, but like the shit that Stephen A does for sports and that type of thing. There's people doing that for the comedy world.
Oh, you mean when they like talk about beefs or like cover it like they're a journalist or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. There's an entire cottage industry.
Elephant Graveyard is the one that hits.
But I would call that closer to journalism because
but there's a lot more. He's just the one that hits of the, but it's like a whole subgenre on YouTube, and a lot of them are not that. But you brought Jason Whitlock. We should reference real quick, and then we'll take a break. Jason Whitlock, if people don't know, is a Black conservative sports journalist who was a sports journalist who then came over into politics under the umbrella of the inimitable Clay Travis, Tennessee's own, which like that's such. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Tennessean. Like I've hated Clay Travis since before he ever even got into politics.
For sure. Yeah.
Like he's always been an insufferable fucking prick. Like, and so it just says something about just most conservatives in general, I feel like, because
we could tell before you even said anything.
Exactly. Before you ever even got into it. It's nothing has ever been less surprising than him, you know, pivoting into being a conservative pundit or whatever, because he was always such an insufferable prick. Like, even when he just did sports shit. But anyway,
it's like, imagine if Bill Maher had worse opinions somehow.
Right. But on his network is Jason Whitlock, another sports journalist who went into conservative punditry, but he's a Black guy. And apparently our buddy, friend of the show, denizen of the Skewniverse, Donnie Singstack, who lives in Nashville, told me that Jason Whitlock, I don't know if he currently lives there or what, but this is no longer happening. But at one point, Jason Whitlock moved to Nashville and started doing open mics and doing sets at Zany's Comedy Club, right? And I was like, Donnie just said that. And I said, dear Lord, was it as bad as I'm imagining? And he goes, oh, dude, maybe worse, ... The local Black comics gave him the nickname Uncle Bomb. Which is so goddamn funny, dude.
I told my dad that last night.
Yeah.
I told my dad that last night, and at my birthday dinner or whatever, and he thought that was the funniest goddamn thing he'd ever heard. And I'm certain he aligns with Whitlock on a lot of things, but he thought that was great.
Uncle Bomb's blabbing.
Yeah, all right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. All right, and we're back. Yeah, you said something a minute ago that I wanted to say something else about, but now I don't remember it. I wanted to make sure and get the Whitlock thing out there, but then I lost it after that.
All right, I'll do a little quick recap of everything we were talking about. Big-tittied paleontologist, Stephen A. Smith, Pablo Torre. Before that, we were on the lizard people tip of dinosaurs. Other than that, I got nothing.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
So I tried to look up some of the silly scientific studies for the years or whatever, and I mean I found some, but the one that sticks out to me is apparently scientists determined that bisexual people are more likely to be left-handed, so
they get called gay early on,
and then they just accept themselves. That's a great theory. I believe that that's all that's happening there. They got called gay at 6, and they're like, well, screw it. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. We nailed that.
All right.
Next.
Apparently, chickens can tell if people are hot or not. Maybe.
Okay. Like, sexually attractive?
Because they're letting them fuck? Like, come on now. How do we...
Chickens apparently they peck at pictures. They seem to prefer pictures of humans that are conventionally attractive over pictures of ugly.
Yeah, maybe they hate
that would imply they don't hit for them. Yeah, but they can tell.
It would still be that they know they're hot and they get jealous.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it just chickens? What about roosters?
I don't know. It just says.
I bet roosters hate everybody.
Oh, it's a bunch of jealous ass bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Yeah, next. Boom. There you go.
Scientists in Switzerland played music for wheels of cheese.
Okay. I've done that. I didn't get a fucking grant.
Different genres of music during the cheese's aging process.
Outside a refrigerator like John Cusack.
And according to their study, each cheese developed a distinct flavor profile.
Well, my craft singles really received Tyler Childers well, and I do think it adds a certain level.
So the hip-hop infused cheese was described as having a stronger aroma and taste than the classical music infused counterpart.
It was funky.
You ever seen those videos where they play music in the water with a plant in it, and then the water's cleaner than where they like yelled, "I hate you" or whatever? You don't know about that?
I do.
If you were a scientist, that would be your job to scream at plants.
Scream at plants. Fuck you. Fuck you,
that was
plant.
I made $300 a day doing that in Australia, dude. Nobody had ever killed a plant as quick as me. I'd get to the core. You know what I mean? Your mother was a whore. All the bees.
The plant tells you where Osama bin Laden is. Just shut up. I'll say anything.
Is this related to Corey? Recently, I don't remember if it was this show when Drew wasn't here or POA or what, but I was telling you about that pseudo science documentary that I saw while high in college and believed it for a couple of days before realizing
the quantum
it was
physics thing,
insanely stupid. Yeah. In that, Drew, this whole pseudo science documentary from like 20 years ago, they had a little cult following because it like captivates conspiracy theorists. Yeah. That again, I saw while high at the age of 20 and got sucked into, and it had me there for a second. It was basically trying to posit that it was like sort of the secret before the secret, kind of that like human thought can like impact physical reality basically, and they tried to frame it through a scientific lens. So like because of quantum mechanics,
right?
Related. Corey sent me a thing yesterday
time is
about
not linear.
About how photons seem to know when they're being observed or not. You know, the whole Schrodinger's cat thing, and like observation alone can change things, which is like true and
which is simulation theory. Like it means that like it doesn't render. The way I was explaining it was like in a video game where it's like that video game only renders what you can see because it would take up too much data to render the shit behind it. So atoms only react when you're like, they're kind of like, I guess it would be like the fucking In Toy Story, when the kids run in, all the fucking dolls go, you know what I mean? But the opposite.
Yeah, but well, we'll come back to that in just a second.
Yes,
But anyway,
the
dude,
Toy Story, I liked that. I'm not lying.
Thank you.
I'm not making fun of you.
In part of that documentary, they had monks fucking like vibing to plants, like positive vibes and prayers and shit to plants, and saying that they like the plants hit harder, they grew better, or something like that.
All of it sounds like prayer.
And that, like they said, they put things under microscopes, and when people would be like, "Oh, look at this lovely fucking petri dish," versus "fuck you, petri dish," and that type of thing, then under microscopes, the one that got yelled at like looked all fucked up and weird, and the other one like blossomed or whatever the fuck, like shit like that. But I don't know how real any of that be, you know.
Some of that sounds like some stuff that I'm aware of and that is real. I mean, I brought up the plant thing because I'm pretty sure it's been was it recreated? I don't know if the cheese thing is real. Is it? Do you know if it's been recreated? Like, have other people been able to copy the result?
Replicated.
Thank you. I couldn't think of that word.
I don't know, but also it's one of those things like who's determining the outcome? Do you know what I mean? Like a
that's my opinion.
Cheese sommelier.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like
A cheesemonger.
it sounds a little bit like
sell
the
it.
sort of universe is a hologram theory, which is more of a metaphor. Like when you get into the physics, that's one of Stephen Hawking's like last theories he was working on, and he's not the only one. There's been a lot of people talking about it. I think for me, I'm a little more woo-woo than a lot of people, but a lot less woo-woo than, I don't know, my wife. I think that people like see this, or like that documentary, I'm sure what happened is like something happened in the lab, and then the people who made this documentary drew these wild conclusions from it.
Yeah, right.
And then like very reasonable people like yourself, Trey, are like, well, then fuck all that. And it's like, well, hold on. We may not know what happened, but
we
this
do
guy
know that
being an idiot doesn't mean nothing happened.
Exactly.
We may not have figured out what
we just don't know the why.
But something has happened here.
Like, regardless of what your theory is, it did happen, which is crazy. So fucking
and
why?
most of what I've seen on stuff like that is like there does seem to be some sort of connection we don't understand, I guess is the way to phrase it, in terms of everything, matter itself is a vibrational energy.
It's string theory.
And so like, yes, so like vibes are a very real thing that unfortunately in our culture have been turned into like, you know, The Secret. You know what I mean? Like you can have $1 million if you just have good vibes, man, where it's more like on a molecular level, if you yell at something, literal vibrations will probably affect it. I've often wondered, what if you yell angrily, but you say positive things?
Nice things.
I bet it would fuck those plants up.
Yeah,
because they're obviously not conscious, but I literally think just like, it's almost like, yeah, doesn't that mimic if you went through a storm? If you
right, it's scary.
Nature, like,
yeah, it's tone.
You might just literally be damaging it, you know?
And also with that whole like positive vibes things, it's like, okay, most of everything that you get in life that's good comes through connections. Like we all know that. Like nothing really is a meritocracy. Like, and if you're a positive, vibey, fun person, you're going to get more opportunities because people want to be around you. And if you're fucking mean, they don't. And so you're like, but it's like, it's not like, see, I'm doing this all with my mind. It's like, no, you're just kind of fun. And so good things will happen to you.
So there's actually some pretty intense studies going on with that right now. It's one of like in psychology and brain, whatever behavioral stuff. It also has to do with, it will change your behavior.
Yeah, right. Right.
If you do, like, you will be differently because
yes.
your reality is, in fact, something you are imagining.
If you pretend long enough, you will become that thing.
Right. And like, so if you tell yourself, I'm going to X goal, your brain starts like seeing things it wouldn't have seen before, like an opportunity
to make that come true. Yes.
And
you will subconsciously work towards that goal.
And to be fair to the witches, that's a little witchy.
It is witchy. It
is one witchy. Of my favorite ones of these is like when people are like, I won't fuck with any like essential oils or any of that. That's all a bunch of bullshit, Chinese medicine. It's like, sure, but like acetaminophen, literally they figured it out from a tree bark. So like it's
Word.
fine for you to mistrust the white girl with the thing on the swirly thing on her bedroom wall when she's trying to fix your sinus infection, but don't pretend like there's no validity to
Sure.
witchy stuff, because
Yeah.
most of that came from a time where trial and error. I mean, yeah, a lot of them murdered 3 kids, you know, because they gave them onions for the clap or whatever the hell it was. But
Right. Like if you just apply science to, if you just take away their witchy words and apply science to it, it makes sense. It's like, they'll be like, oh, I don't take, Advil. I just make a turmeric tea. And it's like, right. Well, turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties. Therefore it mimics the same thing you're getting out of Advil. So now that I've said it like that, it's like, yeah, okay. It works. So like, yeah, don't mistrust everything they're saying just because they got a septum ring. You know what I mean?
One time Andy called someone, I think she called him an energy vampire. And I was like, what? And she was explaining people feeding off others.
Like
Colin Robinson. Colin Robinson. You watch that show?
Yeah, I do. It's great.
Yeah.
He's an energy vampire. By the way, this is pre-Colin.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, what? And then she explained it, and I was like, oh, a narcissist. Yeah, got it.
Right.
I got it. I know what we're talking about, the same thing, and we have different ways of saying it.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who like, I will be more tired after a conversation with them than I will be another person. And it's not even the rate at which they talk. It's just the way, the vibe, or whatever. And I'm just like, God damn,
right.
I'm probably that guy for a lot of people.
Pre-Colin Robinson, she was using that.
Depends on the day and how how showy you're being.
Thank you.
She was using it quite literally. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like the idea is like this person literally gets more energy off of being shitty to you. And I'm like, what are you talking? Anyway, go ahead.
I said we'd circle back to it. You said you were like, in that video you sent, said this too. It's like one way people explain it, but light, photons and stuff, they seem to, particles of light seem to somehow know when they're being observed, and that changes how they act, which is wild. And it is wild. So some people said maybe that's evidence that we're in a simulation, because like you said, in video games, the whole environment, it doesn't render until you look at it, because that saves computational power. And I get that, but my question is, like, when you play a video game and that's how that works, it's you are the one playing. It's just you're playing it, right? It's on your screen. Your machine renders it because you're playing it. If we're all in a simulation, like, would that mean in that version of it, it's like a Matrix version simulation where we're like, we are real people that are hooked into this versus we're part of it.
Yeah, right.
We're code. We're we're NPCs essentially, even though we have sentience, but we're within. Because if it's the latter, I don't really get the rendering thing. But and if it's the former, every one of the 6 billion people on Earth is a player in the game, so most of it would have to be rendered a lot of the time. I mean, there's huge stretches of it that wouldn't in the wilderness and stuff, but like,
well, the thing we're talking about is so minute, though, right? We're talking about protons, right? Or
photons. Yeah.
So like,
dumbass.
Yeah, but photons are light, and light's fucking everything. Light's how
I get that, but my point is, I can imagine a scenario where things are rendered, just not at the microscopic subatomic level until you look.
Also, if that were true, that would mean if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, it probably wouldn't make a sound.
Well, it ain't even there. It don't fall. I mean,
it don't fall at all.
What I'm saying is, it does fall. Most of this is rendered. This would make
a bird had to be watching it.
True, but the photons, like looking at the subatomic level, is they haven't. You know what I mean? That was a waste of computational power.
Most of this can be explained in Ant-Man and the Wasp, by the way, if people want to just skip this episode and go watch that scientific documentary.
Yeah, on that note, I don't believe much of this.
Mm-hmm. Which part?
Yeah, I definitely don't believe all of it.
The photon part or the simulation part? Yeah, I'd say the photon thing has been like proven, and it is weird,
a million times over.
Yeah, but
they still can't figure out why.
I like the holographic universe thing. And again, that's a metaphor, and it's not a great one. It took me a long time to wrap my brain around it, and I'm still not sure I can. But essentially, it's like reality versus our observation, we are looking at a holograph, which is not to say that there is no universe at all. It's just that it's impossible. We are it. So to observe it, we have to see a holograph.
Right.
I mean,
but because I mean, like, you know, we can, because in this sense, it would be like, okay, but I can feel a tree. We're massively dumb. Like, we're insanely dumb. And matter of fact, we're very unique people in that the more we talk about intelligent things and attempt to talk about them intelligently, the dumber we seem, you know, which is a rare.
That's everybody. Isn't that everybody?
Yeah, maybe. But unless you're really dumb and then you see it and you're like, you know, that's Joe Rogan's whole thing is like, he does all this dumb shit, but dumber people than him listen to it and go, wow, he's really fucking smart. You know what I mean?
You're saying, right. Okay.
That's a trait of smart people, though, what you described. I would
think so too, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be smart to know how dumb you are.
Yeah.
It's the whole Dunning-Kruger thing.
Any scientist will ever tell you, the more you like talk about or learn about a thing, the more you realize you don't actually know about it or understand it or whatever. Like smart people do that. Dumb people don't do that. Dumb people do not think that they understand it all without doing any of that. They hear one thing and they're like, I get it, when they don't get it at all, but they're too dumb to know that they don't get it.
Right.
So,
and like quantum mechanics.
I was too dumb to know.
Yeah. I'm kind of doing a bit about that right now, another Dunning-Kruger sort of bit that I want to be better, but it's working, but it's kind of just me sort of ranting about how unfair that is, that dumb people are too dumb to know they're dumb.
It is unfair.
It could be a lot better. But yeah, but it's also because it's like, well, we talked about it. It came out of that. It actually came out of an Is This Anything? One of the first Is This Anythings, I think, going back to dinosaurs, I brought up that lady from that TikTok about how she can't believe there's adult humans who actually believe that dinosaurs existed, right? Like that lady. It came out of that conversation, and I talk about her on the thing and about how
joyful it would be to.
Yeah, but you can't do it.
You can't do it. No, you can't do it.
There's nothing anyone can ever do.
You can when you're drunk. You know, Cliff Claiborne had his famous theory, which is one of my favorite ones. Like, hey, you know, Normie, that alcohol kills brain cells, but of course it only kills the weak ones. You know, the strong ones survive. That's why after a couple of beers, you're smarter. You know, it's like, and that goes back to your old bit where it's like, you like being bombed out drunk is like going to fantasy camp for dipshits, because you do temporarily become that. Like, you're just insanely dumb, but very confident, very confident. But then you wake up. And they never do. Just like your bit.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like that every day. But it's also, what I'm talking about now is not how great it would be to be her, but the frustration that comes from there's nothing you can do about that. Those people, like her, like
and it's like belief in religion or whatever. I talked to my sister.
Kill them all. That would hit, but
I talk to my sister about this all the time. Like,
I think that's just eugenics, but
I would kill to actually believe that there's a God that made all of this and loves me, and that I'll see my grandmother. You can't make me believe it, though. You can't make me believe it. I wish you could, but you can't, because I can't. If I did, it would just be pretending.
I remember I used to do doc review with Dean, and we would sit and talk. And this wasn't even a bit, because you know, especially at the time, I was probably talking about my dick exclusively. But like, I don't think believers can be non-believers. Like, they can shift. Like, you've seen believers like give up on the church, but then they become believers in something else. And I don't believe people who don't believe can believe. I think that is inside like your personality, or maybe it's formed early. I don't know, but like, I genuinely believe what you said is like, you cannot become a believer, Corey. And I think people who can believe, they can leave the church, but they'll find something else to believe in. There are people who believe, and there's people who just don't believe.
Exactly. Yeah, you could, like, institutions can fail you as a believer, because those are people and those are fallible, and you can become, you know, begrudged with that. But like that belief, like, again, it's a belief, you know, and it's a belief that is like, you know, there's plenty of things that I believed and then scientifically it was proven other. This one, the belief in a God or whatever, it's one of those that, like, especially if you believe in like the Christian God, it's like that sign, they've got a fail safe for that, which is like, human beings can't comprehend it. And then honestly, when you look into the science of everything with the photons, all this magical shit, that as a believer, I would go, see, that's fucking so wild that only my God could have done that shit. I'd feel that way, without question. I'd go, that does not disprove God. That proves his majesty more than anything,
It's just like, wow. They're going to be like, yeah, God did the photon thing, but queers, no way.
Yeah, they made that up in the 70s.
I don't remember when we talked briefly about plants earlier, but it made me want to look something up, and I finally found.
We're talking about yelling at plants versus monks singing to them.
Right. So, have y'all heard any of the scientific experiments and stuff about exactly how much plants can think or not and decide things?
Oh yeah,
I know they scream when we cut them.
Love that stuff.
So I've brought this up a million times.
By the way, I love it
all-time best.
I am at my core a cynical believer. By the way, I can't stop believing. I have been able to get rid of beliefs, but I can't stop. All this is spiritual for me.
Right.
But yeah, Corey, I said it before, but my all-time favorite deep thought by Jack Handy was, if trees could scream, would we be so cavalier about cutting them down? We might be if they screamed all the time and for no good reason.
No reason.
That's just so fucking funny.
I only wrote that.
Just getting so annoyed at a tree, you fucking chop it down just to shut it the fuck up is so funny to me. But anyway, I would this experiment with beans, right? Beans that need a trellis or something to grow up, ideally. They put beans in a room with cane with sticks that would work for that purpose, right? But not in the pot, elsewhere.
Right. Over somewhere else.
And the beans, and they do this with different beans, different plants with different sticks in different positions. And they seem to somehow know where it is.
Yeah.
Each different bean they'll all grow in the direction of the stick, even though how the fuck could it possibly be aware of where if they were going in all directions at once and then find the stick and then stop then stop and then focus, that'd be one thing. But that's according to this dude, that's not what they're doing. They're growing in that direction to begin with, again, as if they know that it's there. But how
that's fucking crazy.
Could that be possible? But they do somehow. So
they got little bean eyeballs, I guess. I don't know.
Shit be wild, dog.
And it should be wild. And it also, for me, it goes back to the semantic thing I was talking about earlier, the energy vampire versus the narcissist or whatever. The plant thing with the dude yelling. No part of me thinks that the plant knows you're mad at it.
It don't speak your language. It's just, why do you know a minor chord is sad and a major chord is happy, but no one had to tell you that. So
right.
Yeah.
And if someone's see, man, you got to have good vibrations, and you roll your eyes and you go, no, actually there's a new study coming out, and what is actually happening is on a molecular level, and you explain it, and I go, you guys said the same thing.
Right.
You still haven't explained why the plant likes it.
Right.
You have told me that what's actually happening is the vibrations are why? Why the fuck is the good one's good and the mean one's not working? I know it doesn't know what mean is, but something is happening here.
Yeah.
I get frustrated with the cynics more than the woo-woos, because the woo-woos sound like idiots, but they're a good time.
Well, in terms of the power of belief and stuff like that, dude. Also, I was just thinking about this recently. What the fuck is the placebo effect about? That shit is bananas. That don't make no guy. And it's a thing that's every science, they all acknowledge that it's real and it does happen, but they all just kind of roll with it. They're like, yeah, I don't know. But that's but no, that's fucking crazy though. That's crazy. That's a real thing that happens. How?
I know that it's it's all happened to us before with us not knowing it, but the only time I've been conscious of the placebo effect I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, I want Drew to at least finish that at some point, because I'll use it if I think
I didn't. What I just said was jokingly, never mind, I'll do it.
No,
tell me.
Anyways, when I first got on antidepressants, I was going through therapy and then I got on them or whatever, and I started taking them, and I had a therapy session 2 days after I started taking them, and immediately my life was better, and I was positive, and I wasn't having these dark thoughts, and just it was a miracle. I remember telling y'all, I was like, I remember being mad that like, oh, so this is just how some people fucking walk around. You know what I mean? With all this serotonin and shit. And I was like, God damn, if I was able to get where I am now without being so positive and full of energy, like imagine what I'm about to do. And by the way, my career took off and things started happening to me. Well, I'm telling my therapist about this and he's like, great, that's awesome. Yeah. Then the next week we have a thing and I keep telling him, he goes, by the way, I didn't want to bring this up to you then because I didn't want to dissuade you or whatever. He said, but scientifically, if you'd only been taking those for one day, he said they had not gotten into your system yet, and they weren't. And I said, but how? And he goes, well, it's the placebo effect. And he said, and I said, what the fuck? And he goes, the reason I want to tell you is because it doesn't matter that it was that means that the pill technically did work. It's just that you made it work. Like he goes, it wouldn't have worked if he goes, you went into it wanting it to work and believing that it would work. And because you believed that, it did somehow because you changed your mindset. And he's like, now they are in your system. He's like, but there's no way that after less than 24 hours, he's like, so it was placebo. And I was just fucking blown away. Like that, because everyone wants to think that don't work on me or advertising don't work on me or whatever the fuck. And it's like, here's concrete proof to me that like, God damn it did. And it just blew my mind, you know?
Speaking of God damn it, also on this list related to that, another scientific study found that cursing raises your pain tolerance, which
makes so much sense.
I didn't know that, bro.
There's another one that has shown that physical touch can ease pain at least a little bit. So, like you fucking stub your toe or whatever, and you automatically grab, you bang your knee or something, you grab it. But
when your kid gets hurt,
you cuddle
them and they feel better immediately.
And that really does something. And cussing, fuck, like that really does something too. Like, and all that shit is wild.
Sorry, I gotta go.
Okay, we love you. Now he left before he was going to tell you his bit.
I know. I'm going to text him. See, he's not going to tell me.
He's not.
A whole fucking thing.
And he's going to do it, and he's going to figure it out between now and Nashville and do it. It's going to be the best bit ever, and you're going to seethe.
Yep. Probably.
I love that. That really hits for me.
All right. Well, yeah.
There you go.
Just going to call it a little early. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
why not? It's fine.
Let's just do that. It is.
Nobody cares.
No, hell.
I mean, some people. Anyway. It would be wild if they were like, "Hey, where the fuck was the last 2 minutes of the episode? You fucking asshole!" You know.
Yeah. What a bunch of bullshit. I guess we could. Well, no, we'll do that on POA. It'll be fine. All right. So y'all come listen at Zany's this weekend, tomorrow through Saturday. All three of us. Again, there's some tickets left. Not many, but there are some. So get them. And also, if you're not in that area and you want to see me, check out my upcoming tour schedule at TreyCrowder.com. Maybe I'm coming near you. And if I am, come see me. It'll be fun.
I would be delighted if you would join me on my Substack, which could be found at CoreyWritesForYou.com. I do written essays. I do audio versions of them. Some of them funny, some of them still funny, but less funny. I do an array of things. I also write fiction. I also attempt and fail miserably at poetry, but I keep doing it anyways. Whatever. Who gives a shit? CoreyWritesForYou.com. And thank you for everybody who has subscribed. I was like number 5 or 6 or some shit in humor last week, which is crazy because like 2 spots above me was Dave Barry. So, I mean, I'm certain, by the way, that the gap between me and Dave Barry is insurmountable. Still, it was nice. CoreyWritesForYou.com, and come see us in Nashville. Thank you all for listening to the Well-Read Show. We love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew. Fart.
Putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy. fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. We collected from our love of Downton Abbey. We collected, we found out we're both so fancy. Hey, what's the difference between rednecks and royal families? Only money, cause they both have sex with family. Ew. Putting on airs. What other rednecks to talk about foreign affairs? Laughing so hard that we end up falling out our chairs. Sir Trey, Sir Corey, oh what a pair. High class topics with a redneck flair. Oh yeah. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Okay, it's Team Squirrel or Team Trey. Oh yeah, we keeping it basic. He thinks that the squirrels at Corey's mom's house are racist. And you know squirrels live in the same place for generations. So Trey, you better count your days and you better count your blessings. Cause all the squirrels that you ran over, that you think are nameless, faceless, their families are getting together and plotting on you from the attic and basement. So even though Corey is dumb, fat, and bald, he knows how to avoid drama, don't get squirrels involved. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea.